Guys, it's Megan. So the Media Center actually has some really cool free resources for you guys that I think will help you out a ton with maybe mixing up your content in your classes every week, because I know that it can be very exhausting trying to come up with what you're going to do. And this puts some of the work on the kids, which I like. All right, so I'm just on my class link, and everything we have through the Media Center is available through class link. So I'm going to just type in my login. So if you'll notice, you guys have e-library here, and that's going to be where most of your resources are available. So the first thing you guys have is Sora, which is really just Overdrive. It just has a different name, but I did want to let you guys know. Let's see if we log in here. You'll see that we've got free ebooks and audiobooks, but what Overdrive has done for us is, you guys will see always available. They have put in, if you guys will go here to classic literature, 250 books that are multi-user copies, which means that as many kids as you want can actually check these out and read them. We also have Mackenzie. I'll show you that, guys, that in a minute, that has the same function. So if you want to do, let's say, like a book club with the kids, if you're an English class and you still want your kids to read Romeo and Juliet, you can do that. They have access to all of this. Not only on any computer, there's also a Sora app, just like Overdrive, where they can download that. All right, I'm going to close out of here. So the next thing I want to show you guys that you have is Safari Montage. So Safari Montage is a lot like YouTube. It's got, I know for sure, it's got BBC, Nat Geo, PBS, History Channel, Smithsonian Channel. It's got a ton of different stuff in here for you guys to use. So all I need to do is it's really easy. If you'll type in the search bar, let's look up pandemic. We're going to do coronavirus stuff here. So you'll notice that when I look up pandemic, I'm actually getting several things. And on the side here, it'll show you where it's from. So there's A&E, there's BBC, WGBH is one of the local PBS stations, another A&E, another A&E. So if you guys have, I know a lot of people are like, hey, do you have a movie on? This is where you can find them. And if you have a movie you've watched in the past, you can actually usually type the title in here and it'll come up. So we're just going to look at this first one from Nat Geo so you guys can see what it looks like. So this is, I can see it's a full video. All right, so I can click on it. Because you guys are at home and not at school, you can just hit play and it'll play for you. You'll also see that it's split up into chapters. So let's say I just want my kids to watch treatments and vaccines. I can just click on that and give them the link for that 6-minute video. The other cool thing this will do is if you click on permalink, it actually gives you different links you could copy into your Teams or your OneNote or whatever you're using that the kids can access and watch. Go back. It will create QR codes for each section for me if I want. And then the other cool thing, if you'll click on Teams, I can actually share this video. Sorry, you can see there's the QR code. It just took a minute. I can actually share this with my class. So my poor Glad Tech kids are getting all kinds of weird assignments. So I want my Glad Tech guinea pigs to do an assignment with this. So I can create it as an assignment and hit go. Enter my assignment name. Take notes on how pandemics are fought. and then I want them to do it by tomorrow. I mean, you wouldn't do that, but you get the idea. And then I can post it, and that'll actually post as an assignment in my team's classroom. Let's see if it'll pop up here in just a second. Yep. So if I went back to my team's classroom for my GLAD Tech, it's actually going to show up as an assignment for them to do. You'll also notice at the top here, you've got standards. So you've got all career tech standards, performance standards, and then your standards of excellence. So I'm going to choose standards of excellence for social studies just because you guys can see my assignment just popped up, just because that's what I taught. So I want grade 9 through adult, and I can do search, and you guys will see that it's actually going to give me things that go, videos that might go with everything in social studies. So we're going to click on U.S. history, slavery between North and South. I've got one title, but if I expand it, it actually narrows this down. So if I want the Compromise of 1850, I can just click on that, and it's going to give me 11 different things I could watch with my kids, including a PBS video on the abolitionists, another PBS video on slavery, making of America, an A&E video on the presidents. So that's something you guys could do. If you've got a standard and you're like, what the heck do I do with my kids with this? Go to your standards and have them watch a video maybe 1 week instead of you having to lecture. And then you could certainly do something like create a Microsoft form and, have them answer questions about the video. That would be an option. So that's Safari Montage. And now I'm going to show you guys Mac and VIA. So the kids have access to Mac and VIA as well. So just so you're aware, I'm going to show you some of the things that the kids can use, that you can pull resources from. So yet again, in Mac and VIA, you guys are going to see that there are tons of free ebooks. So let's say I want to teach, like, man, we normally teach Romeo and Juliet around this time. What do? Just type in Romeo and Juliet. We're going to ignore Bloom's. We know we don't like that. You guys will see that right here, there is a Romeo and Juliet, and it says available multi-user. That means that, and then there's Tales from Shakespeare. It's got Tempest, Macbeth, and Romeo and Juliet in it. Again, multi-user. That means that multiple students can check it out at a time. So there are lots of the classics in here that are actually multi-user, so you could do that with a class. But I want to show you guys one of my favorite things about Mac and VIA. So we've got these in context resources. I've got biography in context. Digital Library of Georgia is cool if you've never played with it. We have Discovery Education. If you guys need the code to sign up for a class through Discovery Education, just let me know. I can send that to you. You've got Global Issues in Context, which we're going to actually look at today. Scroll down. So you've got all these free resources in here. Opposing Views in Context, which is probably one of my favorites within here. It actually looks at topics and gives you different viewpoints on those topics. It's great if you're doing, something about social justice, or you want to do like a choice topic research thing with your kids. It's really great. Or if you're looking at some more modern history. There's Safari Montage. We have Science in Context, which is gonna be the same thing as what I show you, but it's great for science. We've got U.S. History in Context and World History in Context. So we're gonna go back up to Global Issues in Context just so I can show you what all of these resources look like. All right, sorry, I've got another tab open. So here's your Global Issues in Context. So we're gonna click on that. And on this, you guys are going to see that all of them look very similar to this. So global issues in context is really cool because it's actually pulling from resources across the globe. So you're getting that global perspective versus just an American perspective, which I think is really awesome, where the other resources are more US based. So issues of interest is always going to be there. So it's going to pull up topics that are prevalent today. So you've got International Women's Day and women's rights. You've got pandemic preparedness, human trafficking. You've got different topics and issues that are, hot topics. They're big topics that your kids might be researching where they could just kind of click on it. You've also got your curriculum standards, and they have an educator resource center if you ever need that. So one of the cool things is this is as easy as a Google search or a Wikipedia search, except it's going to give you better stuff. So we're going to look up pandemic. So you guys will see, just like Google does, it's going to pre-populate. So we're going to look up pandemic. We'll do H1N1 flu. So viewpoints are going to be different perspectives from different papers. So you guys will see I have lots of London. I've got Australia. There's actually 625. If I wanted to click on that, that would pull that up. I've got references. So these are going to be from different encyclopedias. Statistics. So if I wanted, a kid to analyze like a statistic or something like that, you could certainly pull that stuff up. Primary resources, which I think is really cool. All of the Gale in context resources have primary sources in them. You've got images, videos, audio, magazine articles, news articles, and then academic journals. So we're going to click on impact of H1N1 so you guys can see what this looks like. So something nice that I really like that they do is that they will highlight it and give you different ones. So let's look at a different one. This one's not that great. So we're going to just hit our back button. Okay, we'll do this one. Perfect. So it's going to take the articles that, look really big and scary to kids, scrolling through here, and it makes it look more like a website, which I think is easier for the kids to read than like a PDF. I think when they see an actual journal article, sometimes it kind of freaks them out. One of the other cool things this will do is you'll notice that like a Wikipedia article, it's going to give me stuff that might also be of interest to me. So I want to look up, maybe epidemics instead. So if I click on epidemics, you'll see here, it's going to suggest other things I might research. So I might want to look up the avian flu, or I might want to look up the CDC to give me a better, grip on what I'm looking for. And then it also highlights anytime H1N1, which is what we looked up, is on here. It gives me other related articles that might be useful for me. So I can also, if you do font size, especially for kids that might have, vision issues or might need a little help reading, you've got that. If you click on listen, it'll actually play and read the article to the kids. So if I scroll all the way to the bottom here, you've got other resources as well, but it will actually cite the source, and then all you have to do is copy and paste that, which I think is cool. So let's say I found an article that I want my kids to read. What you're going to want to do is either you can send it to a Google Drive or OneDrive, but I always suggest to just download the article, and then it's going to pull up the PDF for you, and then you can give that to your kids to read. This was a really big, if you guys are in grad school, this was a big saver for me. It was so much easier. You've got Lexile levels if you want to know, how difficult it is to read. You've got the length right there, 8,000 words. So this does some really cool things. For kids that might not have English as their first language, you can actually translate the article. So we're going to translate it into, let's do Finnish. Complete translation. And so you'll see that it's already translated this into Finnish. So I can read that in Finnish if I'd like. All right, guys, these are some of the resources we have. I thought this might be helpful for you guys to see some of the stuff we have that's free that you could use in your classrooms. I hope you have an awesome week, and spring break's almost here.